I'm here with Panos Prevodoris, and he's a University of Hawaii professor, traffic of engineering professor. And Panos, tell me what you just had today at a press conference. Tell me what you talked about.
We had a press conference to present a report prepared by Wendell Cox under a commission from the Smart Business Hawaii to look into the greenhouse gas emissions that are likely to be generated by the Honolulu's proposed heavy rail system. And today was a presentation of the summary of the reports, which show that essentially, under reasonable assumptions, rail is anything but green. It will produce more greenhouse gases than the base case with no rail and just traffic.
So some of the points that were made, what are the main points, do you think, besides what you just mentioned, that were brought up in the study?
Well, the main points that were made in the study were that rail or anything electric can be significantly beneficial if power is all renewable or to a significant degree renewable energy. I'm afraid that Hawaii is as far from renewable as it gets because over 98% of our energy is from fossil fuels like oil and coal. So anything electric actually is bad for the environment for Hawaii. So by 2030, it is far better to have fuel-efficient and hybrid vehicles in circulation and congestion solutions to reduce the congestion in order to reduce pollution rather than having a rail system. Any way the study looked at it, the contribution of rail will be counterproductive. Even in the ideal case, where most of the electricity was renewable, rail would remove 12,000 tons of greenhouse gases per year. And now somebody will ask, isn't this a big deal? Well, let's step back one moment and say that the International Panel on Climate Change recommends that industry pays up to $50 to remove a ton of CO2. $50. How much will we be paying to remove a ton thanks to rail? $29,000. IPCC recommends up to $50, most likely $10. The rail will do at a cost of $29,000. So as an environmental solution, is not a non-starter, is absolutely ridiculous.
Can you tell me a little bit about what was used, what kind of data was used for the study? Where did you get this data?
Well, the good thing is that the study is totally compatible with the DEIS, the Draft Environmental Impact Statement. It is essentially a chapter of the DEIS, and the DEIS does not have any pollution numbers. That's one of the reasons why Smart Business Hawaii, they were kind of shocked when we were advising them that there is no pollution data. And then they looked around and they were able to commission this study so that this information can be there. Now, Wendell Fox and other environmental consultants use a standard EPA and similar types of models that they are all vetted. They tend to be, very good estimates of what one should project for the future. They depend on assumptions, but all his assumptions are transparent and reasonable, and they mostly have to do with Hawaii policies anyhow, such as Governor Lingle's projection that by 2030 maybe 70% of our electricity would be renewable, which is a target that it's impossible to reach in 20 years.
So what about Wendell Cox? Can you give me his background?
He is a very capable transportation planner. He has been a visiting professor in the world's best universities. Very recently, he spent several months at Sorbonne in France. This is like the MIT, the top technical university in France. He's extremely well respected. He has testified several times in Congress. And this is actually his forte, his expertise, environmental modeling and the implications of transit systems in urban areas.
What do you see as the best alternative for Hawaii in the future in terms of transportation and so on? Reducing congestion.
It is very significant that if we're serious about our environmental issues and energy issues, the number one thing we should do is reduce congestion. And the number one solution that we have put up, and it's the number one solution in the nation, is hot lanes. high occupancy toll lanes. There is no if, ands, or buts. It's not something that we developed here or it's a custom application or anything. It's the standard solution for traffic congestion, and it's the solution, of course, implemented as we speak in multiple cities in the nation, including the nation's capital. And this is the solution that we propose that will have not only far less environmental impact, but also aesthetic, cultural impact, because it does not enter Chinatown, it does not enter Town, and it does reduce congestion between Leeward Coast and downtown without affecting buildings, vistas, cultural grave sites, etc.
Okay, what about any final thoughts that you might have?
A lot of people sometimes think that calling rail not green is counterintuitive, is electric, because they think about electric appliances that you cannot smell anything out of them. They don't emit fumes. They keep forgetting time and again that not only we spend thousands, millions of tons of oil over a year to produce the electricity out there, we also have huge transmission losses to bring it to our houses. Number one. So that is a huge thing. The smokestack, in other words, is not the tailpipe of your car, but it's out there at the Kahe plant. Bottom line, this makes no difference for the planet. Is a lot of pollution. Number two is the rails itself. They are productive as transportation 1-2 hours a day. The rest of the time, these behemoths run back and forth, sapping a lot of juice, a lot of electricity for serving like 5 or 10 people per train. That is extremely low productivity. That's why, on the average, these things are energy hogs and not efficient means of transportation.
So where can people get more information and see this study?
The study probably will be on the SBA website, or they can send me an email at pdp@hawaii.edu, and I will send them a PDF copy of it.
Of course, we'll have it on Hawaii Reporter as well.
Oh, very good.
And what about the governor? I understand you're going to be delivering a copy to the governor?
Definitely. I think that the City Hall has been totally unreceptive to any suggestions from architects, planners, engineers that they have even a minute opposition to the rail. Therefore, I'm sure that they will summarily dismiss the study. So our customer, so to speak, for this study is the governor, is the people of Hawaii, is the FTA Region 9, which is San Francisco, and of course the Congress of the United States, because Hawaii will be spending $5 billion, $1 billion federal money to essentially pollute the planet. Not a bad deal. Not a good deal, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Panos, very much.
You're welcome.